deep into that darkness. Peering long, I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting. Before we dive in, I want to share that I've had the pleasure of playing Eternal Darkness, developed by Silicon Knights. It was one of the most underrated survival horror games out there. The sanity meter, which made you constantly question your own reality, was a brilliant addition. Here's hoping one day we can see this gem revived on modern consoles or even adapted for the big screen. Alexandra Roivas was jolted awake by a phone call in the middle of the night. The police had contacted her to identify the body of her grandfather, the only close relative she had left. The Roivas family had a long history of mysterious deaths, including her parents, who were found dead in their home, lying on the floor and staring at each other. The coroner had ruled their deaths as caused by brain aneurysms, but an independent doctor hired by the family revealed something far more disturbing. Their brains appeared to have decomposed for months, despite their bodies showing signs of only recent death, a revelation that deeply unsettled Alexandra. Alex's grandfather was found dead in the Roivas estate at exactly 3:33 a.m. When Alex arrived at the estate, she was horrified to discover that her grandfather's body was missing its head, but she recognized his distinctive blue sapphire family ring. The detectives had reached a dead end. There were no signs of forced entry, no struggle, and nothing was stolen. The head had been cleanly severed in a straight line, and the coroner couldn't determine what kind of weapon had been used. Alex wasn't about to let her last living relative die without uncovering the truth. Alex began exploring the mansion for any clues, and soon noticed something peculiar. All the clocks were permanently stuck at 3:33 a.m. Perplexed but determined, she made her way downstairs to the library. As she moved deeper into the mansion, the air seemed to grow thick and she experienced dizzy spells, but she pressed on. At the far end of the library, she found a grandfather clock that wasn't set to 3:33 a.m. Acting on instinct, Alex wound the clock to match the other timepieces. Suddenly, a secret wall slid open. Venturing inside, the air grew even heavier, making it difficult to breathe. Alex stumbled upon a hidden study filled with ancient artifacts and books, her heart racing with anticipation and dread. In the corner of the room, Alex noticed a weapon, a gladius with an ominous glow that seemed to beckon her. Drawn to it, she reached out and grasped the weapon, feeling a tingling sensation course through her body as eerie, occult whispers echoed around the room. Shaken but resolute, she approached her grandfather's desk and discovered a book that looked as if it were bound in human flesh. The title read, Eternal Darkness. As Alex picked up the tome, visions flooded her mind, haunting images of a malevolent entity and flashbacks to people from different times, faces she didn't recognize. Snapping back to reality, still reeling from the visions, she opened the book and began to read. I had no knowledge of what was to come, nor did I care. How the knowledge changed me, it will also change you. As you read this, you will come to learn fear as I have. You too will come to understand, or you will perish. To think that once I could not see beyond the veil of our reality, to those who dwell behind. My life now has purpose, for I have learned the frailty of flesh and bone. I was once a fool, for now I see through the darkness. As soon as Alex finished reading that sentence, she was suddenly transported into the life of Pius Augustus in 26 BC, experiencing everything as if in a lucid dream. She found herself as an observer, watching through Pius's eyes. Pius Augustus, a skilled centurion renowned for his swordsmanship, had been tasked by the emperor to find a rare artifact in Persia. As he journeyed through the desert, Pius began to hear eerie voices calling out his name, leading him to several strange spires rising from the sands, each adorned with the same three ancient symbols. Drawn by an unseen force, Pius stepped into the center of the spires. Suddenly, energy surged around the tops of the structures, forming a glowing circle above him. In an instant, he was transported to a forbidden city, deep within a mysterious temple, leaving the desert far behind. Pius, in shock and awe at the temple's grand design, pressed forward, delving deeper into the ancient structure. He eventually entered a clearing where several towering obelisks surrounded a central tomb. Atop the tomb rested a mysterious staff crafted from human bones and eerily resembling the caduceus, the medical symbol still in use today. Pius felt an irresistible pull toward the staff and without hesitation picked it up. The moment he grasped the staff, a flood of visions overwhelmed him, and Alex, still observing from within, experienced them too. They both became privy to the secrets of primordial entities known as the Ancients, beings who had played a pivotal role in advancing technologies and civilizations across the globe. The knowledge was both enlightening and terrifying, revealing the dark influence these beings had exerted on the course of history. Before the Ancients were able to cross into our dimension were the Archons who ruled over Earth. The Archons, often disguised as human rulers throughout history, possessed knowledge and abilities far beyond human comprehension, with an understanding of the universe and its secrets that was truly profound. Their mastery of both science and magic bordered on the divine, enabling them to manipulate the very fabric of reality itself. But these Archons were not benevolent beings. Their ambitions were as vast as their knowledge, and their hearts were as dark as the shadows they controlled. In their relentless pursuit of power, they uncovered something far more sinister and terrifying, a primordial force that had been concealed for eons, locked away from the eyes of mortals. This force was a hidden dimension, inhabited by powerful beings known as the Ancients. These entities were not of our world. Their existence was beyond human comprehension. Driven by inscrutable desires, the Ancients sought to exert their influence over our reality, wielding immense power with dark intentions. In their hubris, the Archons, a group of powerful rulers, forged a pact with these beings, convinced they could control the forces they had unleashed. But they were gravely mistaken. The Ancients had their own plans, and the Archons were merely pawns in a much larger game. Under the guidance of the Ancients, the construction of dozens of pyramids began, scattered across the globe. The Archons believed these pyramids would serve as gateways, allowing them to teleport instantly from one location to another. But the pyramids were far more than mere transportation hubs. They were conduits to the other side, a tether that would anchor the Ancients in our reality whenever they chose to cross over, though an ancient artifact. The entities whispered secrets of forbidden magic, promising the Archons unimaginable power in our world. Blinded by their ambition, the Archons eagerly accepted the offer. Thus began their descent into darkness. The once great civilization of the Archons started to crumble under the weight of their own hubris and the malevolent forces they had allied with. At the center of this unholy pact was a mysterious artifact, a relic of immense power and sinister intent. This artifact was the key to unlocking the barrier between our world and the realm of the Ancients. It served as a bridge, connecting the two dimensions through the pyramids, enabling the dark entities to exert their influence over our reality and enter at will. This artifact was the Tome of Eternal Darkness. As Pius snapped back to reality, he was overwhelmed by the revelations he had just witnessed. Yet amidst the torrent of emotions, he felt something powerful surging through his body, something he had never experienced before. His mind became razor-sharp, his breathing steadied, and his heart rate slowed to a calm, controlled 35 beats per minute. As this transformation took place, decomposed skeletons began to march toward him, and archers from the shadows started firing arrows. Time itself seemed to slow for Pius, and he was ready to fight without hesitation or doubt, his newfound power coursing through him. As the arrows closed in on Pius, he leapt 30 feet into the air, landing on the ledge where the archers were positioned. With a swift motion, he hurled his solid bronze shield, which sliced through all 10 archers before embedding itself deep into the solid stone wall. Testing the limits of his newfound power, Pius jumped off the ledge, landing with crushing force on the heads of 2 skeletal warriors, shattering them instantly. He then unleashed a devastating assault with his gladius, mowing down the remaining undead with ease. But just as victory seemed near, The skeletal warriors began to retreat, only to be replaced by more powerful demonic entities. As Alex watched this unfold through Pius's eyes, she sensed that the power coursing through him did not come from the ancients, but from something far more potent and mysterious. Pius discarded his gladius, facing the more powerful demons with a grim smile. Unleashing his newfound strength, he delivered devastating blows with his bare hands. A single front kick pierced through a demon's stomach, leaving a gaping hole, while his punches shattered skulls or decapitated the demons outright from the sheer force. In a surge of raw power, Pius lifted one demon above his head, tearing its body in half, letting blood and entrails pour over him as he roared in a frenzied rage, consumed by bloodlust, seeing pools of blood surrounding him. The demons retreated into the shadows, and soon the ground began to shake with the heavy thuds of something colossal approaching. It was as if Pius was being tested, but for what purpose remained unclear. From the darkness emerged an enormous creature, its massive form towering over him, yet Pius was unimpressed. Before the creature could strike, he leapt towards its head and delivered a punch so powerful that the creature's head was driven into its chest, like a turtle retreating into its shell. The beast collapsed, dead, and as it fell, a hidden chamber was revealed. Pius, sensing the immense energy emanating from within, stepped inside. He found himself before a sacred altar of the ancients, where three glowing, floating triangles hovered in the air. The same symbols he saw on the spires shone with a different color, red, blue, and green, radiating an otherworldly power that filled the chamber. Share, like, comment, and subscribe for part 2.